Mikkel Massa Film 25.des.23. Bantu Brothers Testimony. Mysteries of the Deserts Unveiled. Unveiling the mysteries of sorcerer meetings in the desert. 53 While I was sorcerer, I had been so promoted that I had the authorization to take part in all meetings of all the sorcerers of Africa. Where did we use to meet? When you take the map of Africa, you see that Africa is a continent that has two great deserts. Northwards, in the Maghreb, we have the Sahara Desert. And southwards, there is the Kalahari Desert. The Kalahari Desert is the general department of all the sorcerers of Africa. We were going there was a high-ranking demon called Hindu Sankara, which was responsible of taking reports of all our meetings to pass them on to Lucifer, the organization of sorcerers. In first position, we have the presidents and queens who give instructions in witchcraft. They sit on chairs made with human bones. When one eats, one uses the remaining bones to make chairs where presidents and queens should sit. In second position, we have the supreme sorcerers. I would like to stress this point: supreme sorcerers is the neighborhood chief of sorcerers. In any neighborhood there is a neighborhood chief of sorcerers. Even in your neighborhood, there is a chief of all the sorcerers of the neighborhood. So he is the one that one calls the supreme sorcerer, and it is he who has the right to go to the department to pass on the report of his entire neighborhood. And the neighborhood chief does not work alone. He works with the avenue chief and the street chief. In every avenue and every street, there is an avenue chief or a street chief of all the sorcerers of the avenue or the street. And the avenue chief's mission is to gather information in the avenue. Here is how they proceed. They drop by at your place, greet you well, and even talk with you. And since you like to talk too much, you start giving him all your information. So when you are with him, you begin to give him all the information about your family, yourself. You tell him, for example, one has already paid the predowry for my daughter so-and-so. Her in-laws said that they will come at a given time to pay the dowry. My child so-and-so will do the state examination this year. When you give all this information, do you know the spiritual state of 54 the person with whom you speak? Do you know at least the reason why he came to visit you? You are the one who gives him your information, and in turn, he will give the report to the neighborhood chief. He will tell him, for example, on my avenue there is this or that problem, in that house over there is this problem, etc. Have you ever seen cases where some families, despite the fact that the predowry has already been paid and the day of the dowry fixed, the in-laws go and never come back again, as it was expected? Know that sorcerers are the cause of that. The neighborhood chief takes all the reports that the avenue chiefs gave him and pass them on to the department at night. So they use all the information that you gave them yourselves to block your projects. If a marriage is in sight, they will block it. They will take a sorcerer of your family and entrust him with the task. And when sorcerers do it, they entrust a sorcerer of your family with the task of blocking your marriage, your fecundity, your work, your health, your business. You will realize that you work a lot but do not earn anything, while sorcerers who do not work benefit from your work. Didn't the Bible say that the worker deserves his wages? And when we work we should benefit from it. I can assure you that, if you live a constant prayer life, sorcerers will no longer be able to play with your blessings. And when they do that to a neighborhood, they block many things. From the things that have been blocked, they establish laws that will govern the area. That is why you will see that in some areas, people do not get married normally. There are also areas where people do not complete their studies. You can also notice that, sometimes it happens that one lives in a neighborhood, and things do not go well. But as soon as one changes the neighborhood, things that did not go well in the old neighborhood starts to go well on the new one, because there are laws that sorcerers have already established in the neighborhood. But we who are children of God, we will not move because the sorcerers have established laws. We would rather pray and their laws will be cancelled in the name of Jesus. Continuing on the subject of supreme sorcerers, when we wanted to go in the world of darkness, we used the call whistle. And when we whistled, all the unconscious sorcerers came to join us. We then 55 transformed them into horses and then used them as means of transport to go to the world of darkness. That is the reason why some people wake up with pain in the spine or in the back, because at night someone used them as means of transport. That is what we used to do. For example, when we organized parties to enjoy ourselves and have fun in that world, we used to take people's heads, and these heads became our balls. That is why there are people who wake up with headaches. Again, during our moments of celebration, we sang and played drums. And the bellies of unconscious sorcerers are what we used as drums. Therefore do not be surprised to see people who go to bed in good health, but wake up with abdominal pain. It is just because someone used their bellies at night as drums. We also took the legs of people and used them as guitars. That is why you will see some people with incurably wounds. You will also see some people with problems or pains in the legs. It is simply due to the fact that someone used their legs at night as guitars. We could also take a person and sleep with him or with her, and at that moment, this person would see himself or herself in his or her dream having sex. Do you think that it was really a dream? No, beloved, it is not a dream. If such a thing happens to you, know that sorcerers are responsible for it. With other people, we ate human flesh. When you see yourself in a dream eating, you think that it is normal, you think that it is only a dream. Beloved, I would like to tell you that it is reality. It is the work of sorcerers. I served the devil for 25 years, I was the representative of the third degree in the mystery of the air. And I began serving the devil while I was 2 months old. When one talks about 2 months, you are well dealing with a baby, therefore, I did not choose to be what I was. But there are wicked people who got me into the mystical world. I began with sorcery, I evolved in sorcery until I had permission to participate in all the meetings of all wizards of Africa. We used to meet in the desert of Kalahari. And there was a demon of high rank, Hindu Sankara, who was responsible for taking reports of all meetings and transmitting them to Lucifer, Satan. After sorcery, I joined the catch and there I had the power to Tarzan Motor. After the catch, I joined the Indian magic called Magic K. It is the fusion of two magic, the Egyptian magic and the old Indian magic called Hindu magic. After that I evolved and met a priest who initiated me into another form of magic called Holy Magic. Holy Magic is nothing else than Catholic magic. That priest was Spanish, he was of the congregation of the Catholic Fathers. He also initiated me into white magic. I even joined the Amorc. And after that I was summoned to India, where I met the Prime Minister of Satan. I also worked there, and after that I traveled to the mystical world, the world of Pandemonium. There, I got married to a white woman named Helen. I lived over there, I worked a lot for the devil until they called me back to India where I was asked to bring 4 barrels filled with human blood which I did following many human sacrifices that I made, and from there, I was given the rank of Secretary of Lucifer. And afterwards, I went to the world Tartarus, where I met Lucifer. Beloved, when I saw Lucifer, I did not believe that that was the devil. The devil is really beautiful, and I have never seen a human being as beautiful as Lucifer. But all that are just appearances, for there is only evil in him. I worked with him until he gave me the authorization to take part in all the meetings that he organized with the Satanists of the whole world. There we met under the water, at the crossroads of 2 oceans, the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean. At their meeting point, there is a triangle called the Bermuda Triangle. When you go deep down, there is a big temple, white in color, called the White House of Lucifer. Sorcerers who fall during the night. It happens very often that a sorcerer falls. When a sorcerer falls, this simply means that the blood he used as fuel was not enough. Generally, when such thing occurs, people come massively and begin to beat him. When one beats him, he feels no pain. All he makes, when you beat him, is funny faces. He does it just so that you feel sorry for him and let him go. If I asked you what is the whip that one can use to beat a sorcerer so that he can feel the pain, I am sure that many would tell me that we must use broom, isn't it? Open your eyes, beloved. The sorcerer himself, in order to fly, climb on a broom, and you believe that by beating him with a broom, he will feel something. There are only 2 types of whips that, when they are used to beat a sorcerer, would make him feel a double pain, physically and spiritually. The first is euphorbias. When you use them to beat sorcerers, they then feel a double pain. You, sorcerer who is among us, if you happen to fall one day, know that the whip that one must use to beat you is already known. But as for us, children of God, we do not even need this whip. The Bible tells us in Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world and against the spiritual forces of evil." So our struggle is not carnal, but spiritual. Sorcerers who fall during the night. It happens very often that a sorcerer falls. When a sorcerer falls, this simply means that the blood he used as fuel was not enough. Generally, when such thing occurs, people come massively and begin to beat him. When one beats him, he feels no pain. All he makes, when you beat him, is funny faces. He does it just so that you feel sorry for him and let him go. If I asked you what is the whip that one can use to beat a sorcerer so that he can feel the pain, I am sure that many would tell me that we must use broom, isn't it? Open your eyes, beloved. The sorcerer himself, in order to fly, climb on a broom, and you believe that by beating him with a broom, he will feel something. There are only two types of whips that, when they are used to beat a sorcerer, would make him feel a double pain, physically and spiritually. The first is euphorbias. When you use them to beat sorcerers, they then feel a double pain. You, sorcerer who is among us, if you happen to fall one day, know that the whip that one must use to beat you is already known. But as for us, children of God, we do not even need this whip. The Bible tells us in Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world and against the spiritual forces of evil." So our struggle is not carnal, but spiritual. You should know that sorcerers are also entitled to salvation, because God has abandoned his glory in heaven in order to seek and to save those who are lost. So sorcerers are also candidates for salvation. Our fight is against witchcraft.